Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica!
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young.
And
we are
here
Rants and Raves.
Woohoo!
As we're both looking at our phones trying to pull up the outline, I imagine.
I know, right?
Hilarious.
Well, let's see. It took me an hour to get to where we needed to be. And then we talked for an hour about life and everything that I'm making at my home, like a crazy little crafty person.
Sounds on par, and I love getting a preview of all of it.
Well, yeah. You're a nice lady, Jessica.
She's like, well, yeah.
My mom's not alive. I guess Jessica will look at this. How depressing is that?
I will.
You know how your parents always have to look at your crafts and tell you you do well. I had, before we get into like how was your week, I had a discussion. I want your opinion. What is your definition of like crafty? If someone said to you, "Oh, you're so crafty," how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it can be taken two ways. I know some people are offended by that word because they think it means that you're like a scrapbooker or something. And I'm like,
Which there's
nothing
that's
wrong
not my
thing. Exactly. I'm like, that's not my thing. But my God, am I impressed when I see one of those books that somebody spent God knows how much time and money on with their 3D raised diorama stickers and whatnot, right?
Yeah, and their Cricut cut blah blahs. Yeah.
But crafty to me is a big umbrella. That could even mean you're handy, even though that's its own word. It could mean that you make little things. It could mean that you're good at quilting. It could mean that you just like to put fun things together to top a package. I don't know. I think it's a very broad word. And I used to be like, I'm not crafting. But now I'm like, sure, yeah, great. I'm a crafter.
Well, that's interesting. I'm glad I asked you then because people say to me, because I post things that I make and do, and I say, I made this and I love it because I like to be proud of what I'm doing.
Yes.
People frequently say, oh, you're so crafty. You're so crafty. And I say thank you because I think the intent is good.
Yes.
However, I'm from Missouri. I live 45 minutes away from a town of crafty called Branson, Missouri. Okay. A lot of doilies, a lot of crocheting, sometimes some glass blowing, a lot of pork rind making. Okay. To me, when I paint something and you're like, you're so crafty, I'm like, oh, am I? Should I put this on a pillow and then sew a bunny made of socks to sit next to it? Like I do get a little bit. Because I said to Dan, would you describe me as crafty? And he goes, yeah, definitely. You're always like making something to it. And I was like, you know how I describe myself?
An artist.
Yes. Because
Yes.
I don't have a gallery showing. I'm crafty.
Oh my God.
Did I embroider a pillow to sit on the back of my toilet that's a little edgy because it says don't do cocaine in my bathroom? That's crafty. I am an artist.
Is that an actual pillow you saw in Branson?
It wasn't a pillow, it was a wall hanging.
I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm telling you, I used to get really offended. People would say it about like when I would do like these big window installations or displays. I'm like, I am not a crafter. But now I'm just like, whatever. Well,
I think you're right. Sure. I think it has become an umbrella term.
It's right.
What's the word crafty? But I'm serious. Did I crochet a toilet paper roll cover? No, I
I
didn't.
hope
I made
not.
a painting.
If you ever did, I would throw up and give it
Remember
right
when
back
that was
to
so
you.
popular?
Yes, I hate that
Anything
stuff.
crochet in the bathroom now makes oh god.
I don't like
Think of
it.
how much feces is in
Yes.
that yarn.
Another thing I don't like, and this happened and it's been years since I've seen this. I was at a hotel recently, and on top of the toilet was a fabric satchel, like a Vera Bradley jewelry bag. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Those
yes.
little jewelry holders that cinch on the
Sure.
sides. I still have mine from 30
That
years
makes a
ago.
bag of just mess that you're like, "Oh, but I'm pretending I'm organized."
I always would throw it in my suitcase, never wear a single piece of jewelry when I'm on a
Of course.
trip.
You
Okay.
can't because it's tangled, but go ahead.
Exactly. So recently, when I was at a hotel, I was like, "What is this?" It was like a black pot de soie, like a taffeta silk, if you will.
Okay, is that what pot de soie was?
Sarah Stannard just fell out of her chair wherever she is. It is like a bag that cinches, and it had the
Yeah.
toilet paper roll, like that backup roll in
No,
that.
it was provided by the hotel?
Yes, and it was sitting on top of the
No,
toilet, and
ma'am.
I was
Don't touch it.
revolted.
Yeah, don't touch it. Don't
Well, the
breathe near
problem
it.
is I had to open it to get out
You
more
get the toilet.
toilet
No,
paper.
I'd call the front desk and ask them to bring me new toilet
I would like
paper.
a new roll wrapped in paper,
Plastic.
put in a plastic bag, and handed to me by the bellhop. Okay, garçon?
Garcon! Wow. We literally just started this show and launched into cuckoo land. I guess we should say hi and welcome back from the holiday.
Yes.
Jessica and I, the day before our episode was supposed to come out, just decided to take a break and
Yes.
not tell anybody.
I know. Also, yep, I was like, I need to make sure to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving and put
Yeah.
a back
No.
next week. I just, it's not that I couldn't be bothered. That sounds like I'm not interested and I don't
No,
care.
I
That
could have
couldn't be
sat
further
down.
from the
I have a
truth.
microphone at my table here that I paint at apparently every day, that I craft at. Like, I could have done it, and I was like, "It's Thanksgiving, they'll know."
Yep.
Also, it's not like we're we're not Kristen Bell's husband. We don't have 10 million.
Well, do
We
you know
don't
what's so funny? We have really tried to put one out every week since we started, but the
Yes,
more time goes on, I'm noticing other people that I know in the podcasting world have seasons, and they're
they
like
do, yeah.
closing up for the season, or we'll see
Yes.
you after the
It's
holidays, or
probably smart. It's probably smart.
it is.
Yeah,
It
maybe we should look into doing
is.
that. Look, here's what needs to happen in
22.
2021. Okay, whatever. In 1998. You and I need to have a sit down meeting when you have a day to breathe,
Uh-huh.
because I just try not to talk to you anymore. You're just so busy. I wait for this moment, which is why we have 6 hours. It takes us 6 hours to record an
Yes.
episode, because you're just so crazy busy right now. But we need to have a sit down where we go, okay, we're going to plan out seasons, and we're going to try and grow and create a Patreon. And it's going to be an honest Patreon where we're like, we have nothing left to give. We are dried out granola bars of people. But if you'd like to help us pay our bills that we've been paying for the last 3 years, that might be nice.
Yes.
Since we're both dirt poor. Okay, well, we don't put a ton of money into it. This show is not breaking us, but it's a few trips to Taco Bell.
Oh my God.
But good trips, and that's why I chose Taco Bell, because you can get good price.
Uh-huh.
We can get a lot at Taco Bell for the cost of our podcast. Anyway, we need to sit down and have a business meeting. But I just got done telling you, like you said, oh, Dana, you could sell some of these things you're making. Here's the problem, and here's why I'm not Kristen Bell's husband, who has his own name and identity. That I don't remember. Zach?
Dax
No.
Shepherd?
Yes! I said Zach Braff!
Who started in Garden State 16 years ago.
Similar in my head. Anyway, I'm not a business person. I can't handle deadlines and homework And like, I don't have that
I'm not a
mindset.
business person either.
I
I mean,
am
I
not.
am when I have to be, but we're creatives. Most
Yes,
creatives do not
homework
enjoy,
is
nor
hard for
are they
me.
good at the
Not good at.
business side of it.
Correct.
They're
I
just not.
am that useless kind of person that needs someone who's practical to go,
Yes.
take off that fake mustache you think is so funny in public and let's sit down and get some work done. That defines me. Okay.
No,
Like,
that's not
I would
silly.
literally just have on a fake mustache and be like, we're getting work done. It's fun. I believe infusing passion into your daily life is important. And then they're like, yeah, well, we have orders to fill and we need a license to sell. So shut up, shave the mustache, and let's move on and get something done. This is why I can't do life.
Hilarious. No, you always think that, oh yeah, okay, actors have a manager and or an agent, right?
Yeah.
For that very reason,
I
right?
mean, it's
They
true.
do the negotiating, they do the
Correct.
business side, they hopefully are helping get you in
They're
for
like,
auditions, things like
you
that.
remember that you have something due tomorrow, or you remember, did you get your call time?
Yes.
And then I go, no, it's only 10 p.m. at night, and I might have to be there at 4 a.m., but I haven't gotten it yet. So let's just wait. Like,
Okay.
no wonder we're crazy.
Yes.
You're like, do you have to work tomorrow? I do. What time? Not sure. It's only 1 a.m. So still got a couple of hours before I know. That's the reality of our world.
Oh my
So no
God.
wonder I'm fucking nuts.
Well, there's a lot of other creatives that have management. Like, I didn't realize that for like professional photographers are repped by an aid, not all,
Yes.
but if they're lucky, repped
Yeah.
by an agency. Artists are repped by a gallery, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And things like that. So,
Podcasts have agents,
yes, yes,
managers,
yes,
and
yes.
not this one.
Look, we've been saying this for 2 years, but I mean it, and I ain't gonna stop saying it. We're doing the best we can.
Dude, I'm telling you. So at this point, I think I've been podcasting now. What is it? Like 6 years? We've been going
Yeah.
3, right? And I
Mhm.
did almost 3
Yep.
before. The fact that I have showed up to do this at all
Yes.
for almost 6 years
Yes.
is literally insane.
Yeah.
Like, I have a hard time showing up for my own medication at night. Okay. So this is a huge accomplishment.
I
But
agree.
I think the only reason I'm able to even quasi show up is because I just enjoy you so much, and I enjoy the
Same, lady.
friends that we've made, and
Yes.
so I
Absolutely.
apologize for not letting you all know we weren't gonna be around last week.
No, we both have to take the fall for that. Speaking of friends, this is a
Oh,
nice segue to a package I received in the mail
really?
from one Jen Hall Hill.
Stop it. She's
She
my favorite.
said,
Also, why is she so beautiful?
I know. And wait a
Every time I
minute.
see a picture of her, I'm like, "You're stunning."
This is one of our listeners who we love, who has become a friend that lives on the East Coast.
Yes.
Her daughter's name is Neva. Is that not your grandmother's
That's
name?
my grandmama's name,
So
yes.
I freaked when I saw it. I'm like, I am I crazy or isn't that Dana's grandmama's
It
name?
is. Yeah,
Okay.
I
I
love it.
love it. So I received a package on Saturday. I was ecstatic. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, what is this? And I see it's from Jen. And I'm even more excited.
Oh, boy.
I open it and it's wrapped in brown paper, one of my favorites.
Uh-huh.
And she said, we're thinning out our library. And because of your enthusiasm for Dark Side of the Ring, thought you might enjoy this.
What?
I'm sorry. She sent me a hardback copy of the New York Times bestseller autobiography of the wrestler Mankind. Have a nice day, a tale of blood and sweat socks.
Are you so excited you're shaking?
I am not only going to read it, and I'm thrilled. I immediately,
Mhm.
before I even thanked Jen, which God knows, I don't even know that I've done that because I was so ecstatic. I sent a picture of this to our friend Brian O'Connell, a bigger wrestling fan than I could ever dream to be, if that's possible. And I said, I'm going to read this and then I am going to lend this to you. And he wrote back that he was ecstatic and he said, I can't wait. I've been dying to read that book.
See, that just is proof that one man's junk is
Is another
another
man's
person's
treasure.
treasure.
I'm going to give you a very quick synopsis just to give you a look into what I'm about to embark on.
Oh, I'm excited.
Mick Foley is a nice man, a family man. He loves his son Dewey, his daughter Noelle, and his beautiful wife Colette. He loves amusement parks, eating ice cream in bed, and watching Nickelodeon. So, how to explain his participation in Japanese death matches, which replace the ring ropes with barbed wire, cover the mats with glittering gold thumbtacks, and feature C4 explosives scattered throughout the ring? How to explain the body, the second-degree burn tissue is a memento of an exploding C4 and the missing ear that was ripped clean off his head during a bout? And how to explain now, after losing his ear, he then continued his match. He
Wow.
lost part of his ear and he kept wrestling.
It's not real. Okay, listen.
Dana,
I
you
feel
need to
like
watch Dark Side of the Ring and you're going to learn what is and isn't real.
okay. I
How dare you?
I feel like you flipped through a dictionary and read every word you saw without a definition. That's what just happened in my brain. Like, at least I'm going to be generous and say
Oh my
6
God.
words in, I zoned
Oh
out. And that's
my
generous.
God.
But here's the funny thing, people who love wrestling, it's their jam. And my sister's boyfriend, who oddly enough we were just talking about in the green room dump, he is the sweetest. His name is Jeff. And my sister called me last week and was like, okay, I have to ask you a question because Jeff won't ask you. He noticed that you're friends with a wrestler that he loves on Instagram. And he's like, how is that possible? And I go, I am. And she goes, yeah, CM Punk. And I go, oh, yeah, I am friends with CM Punk. She goes,
Unreal.
yeah, he wants to know how. And I go, Tiffany, you were there. I was on a show with him. Like, I'm pretty sure you shook his hand. Like, she goes, oh my God, you're right. So I was on this show out of my hometown that regionally aired in like 10 states or something called the Mystery Hour. My friend Jeff Houghton was the host and he was the original. He created Instagram husband and he's just so sweet. And Punk and I were both guests on this night.
I
and
love it.
I got to be honest, CM Punk was the nice. I don't know how you feel about him if he's in your
I have to admit, I'm not sure who he is.
Yeah. So apparently, I guess he got injured and sort of left the wrestling world. So he wasn't wrestling when I met him, but I guess he's made a comeback. He's come back. He's like healthy now and come back. And so anyway, he's like in the view of the wrestling world again. And so my sister's boyfriend was like, "How does Dana?" Which is a legitimate question. Like, how on earth would I be friends with CM Punk? Well, we were just on the same show together. It's not like we're having lunch or anything like that. He's not like, Dana, I miss you. I'm like, I miss you too, CM. Come here. Doggy, doggy.
Oh my God. Can you please tell your sister for when they want to watch something together to watch Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh, yeah, because Jeff loves wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, he loves it from his childhood.
Yes.
Yeah,
the best episode is the one about Macho Man. It's like none other sold a candle, but the whole show is fascinating.
My first boyfriend, my first love, he was super into wrestling and a professional opera singer. Isn't that interesting?
I didn't know that was the same guy.
Same dude.
That was the one I asked if he was a eunuch, if memory serves.
Yes, you did.
That was
he's
really
not,
way
he's
back.
Baritone. Okay, we have literally talked for 30 minutes about nothing, and I didn't even ask you how your Thanksgiving was. We clearly haven't talked in a long time. This is about hour 4 together. How was your Thanksgiving, Jessica?
It was nice. It was very quiet and calm. It was the same 6 of us as last year. We had a late dinner and then we played a new game that one of my friends sent me during the pandemic, over a year ago called New Phone Who Dis.
Oh,
And
fun. Sounds sassy.
I decided to bust it out. Well, I love playing games, okay, especially like board games or card. When I say card games, I mean I used to really love playing like gin rummy and stuff like that. 80
Mhm.
years old, clearly. But
Right.
I mean like a game like Cards Against Humanity or Apples to
Yes,
Apples.
yes.
So New Phone Who Dis is you've got a sleeve of cards that says inbox. So each person pulls out an inbox and you read a text in the inbox. Then everyone always has 7 cards in their hand, much like Cards Against Humanity. You then pick what you think is the funniest reply to that text. And
Okay.
then whoever holds the inbox cards decides, okay, this is the winner,
Right, 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 right.
right?
Okay, so can you give me an example?
No, I can't remember.
What? I did not expect you to say no! You just pitched this game to me so hard. And then I asked for an example and you said no. No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to do that research on your own.
Perfect
I'm
example.
so mad at you.
Some of them are like not rude or gross. A lot of them are on the cruder side. Let's say one of them says like, "Dude, I laughed so hard. I nearly pissed myself. LOL."
Okay.
The reply could be, we haven't spoken in 2 years. Don't ever contact me again. That could be an example of a reply card. Another one could be, were you thinking? My phone went off in class and my teacher read this in front of everyone. I'm so embarrassed.
Okay.
Right?
So far I'm not having fun.
How dare you? We then moved on to what do you meme? Not what do you mean? What do you meme?
Mhm.
Which has pictures like stock photos. You place it on an easel for everyone to see, and then everyone out of their cards decides what caption best fits that picture to make a
Okay.
meme.
And
And that's it.
may I have an example, please?
Okay, so like there's a picture of a little boy who kind of looks like in a soft focus, like a picture from the late 70s, and he's kind of looking off in the distance.
Uh-huh.
So your caption could be, dude, this is the best weed I've ever had.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Or something inappropriate. I mean, let's just move on. Clearly, I don't.
Honestly, towards the end, it started becoming my favorite game because I just loved watching you try to come up with examples.
I'm gonna make you play New Phone Who Dis the next time we have a
I don't
porch
like
party.
forced fun. And the only reason I don't like forced fun is because I get real competitive and then I get in trouble.
I get competitive too, especially with game nights. Ay, ay, ay.
Same. My Thanksgiving was great. I find when I spent it with someone who has kids, and I find that as parents, we get in, we eat, we
Mhm.
have a couple of laughs, and we get out before everything falls apart.
Yes,
So it was quick and easy and fun and lovely. And then I put
that's
on
perfect.
pajamas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I saw you had very cute your friend made really adorable place settings for
I
everyone.
know,
I
right?
loved
With
it.
our names on them.
And even Dan was Dan Tipton.
I know. Well, because that's what he was like, "Oh, very formal." And I was like, "Nope, just you." Everybody else just had their first name, but that's what we all call everyone calls
Yep.
him Tintin. But
Yep.
you know what's so funny is he has like dual he's like Clark Kent, he has dual identities
Yes.
because at
Mhm.
work nobody calls him Dan Tipton. That's a
Right.
different world.
He's
But
just Daniel.
Dan. Uh, but in our world, in our
Yes.
friend group, he is
Yep.
Dan Tipton
Dan
and has
Tipton
been for
always has
years.
been. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever remember not hearing him introduced as that
Yeah,
or referred to as that.
I don't think I knew you when he was just Dan for a couple of
Right.
years.
I know.
And then I was like, "No more. He is
It's
not Dan Powell."
hilarious.
It's so funny because we've started getting Amazon packages from my
Mm-hmm.
family because we're not traveling for the holidays. And so I can tell my baby sister's been on my dad's butt about
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, don't you wait till the last minute, right?
Uh-huh.
And I always know when it's a gift from my dad because it comes to Dana Tipton. Because
It's
within
cute.
family, I am Dana Tipton.
Sure.
And it's just career that and it is legal
Yeah,
that I'm
of
Dana
course.
Powell.
Yeah.
But to family, I'm Dana Tipton. And both
Also,
sound
you would never
normal
be
to me.
offended, just like I go by Jessica Young and Alan's last name is Nolasco. But if somebody
Right.
ever addressed me as Mrs. Nolasco or sent something to the Nolascos, I would never be offended, nor would
No,
you. It's
no.
you kept your name for acting purposes. Same with me. It's like, who
Right.
cares?
Totally.
I love it. Oh, before we move on from our weeks, I would be remiss if I didn't also tell people another thing that preoccupied this week is last night was the first night of Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
And I got to spend it with one of my favorite little boys in the world, my friend, little Dominic. And I got to teach him about Hanukkah last night, and it was very special. And
Oh.
he is not Jewish, so I like explained everything about Hanukkah and what we were doing and what the traditions were.
How
And I let him
cute.
light the menorah. And then let me tell you, dreidel is fun for everyone. And that little
Mhm.
boy loves playing games. That's something we always do together. And
Do you
he
guys
was
can I
loving that dreidel.
can I ask you an ignorant
Yes.
question?
It won't be ignorant.
It
Ask.
it is because I didn't grow up around a lot of Jewish people.
Yes. So that's, you just don't know. I get it.
So the dreidel, that is that a real song? Or is
I mean, I think that was something that was made up in the meaning like just like Christmas carols are made up. I think that was written in the US
uh-huh.
once Hanukkah started becoming, I don't want to say synonymous, that's not the right word. Okay, I'll be really brief with this because
Okay.
we were discussing this last night. Neither Christmas nor Hanukkah was ever about gifts or about how we celebrate in a commercialized way like we
Right.
do now, right?
Correct. Yes.
And someone can give me a corrections corner, but I'm pretty certain I'm correct with this. There is a very specific year, I want to say it's in the early 50s, it could even be prior to that, that Coca Cola did that famous quintessential
Correct.
Santa with the
Santa.
big beard, what
Yes.
we think of as that Santa. And that kind of sparked the embers that exploded Christmas into this commercialized
Commercial. Yeah.
thing. Hanukkah then followed suit. I think probably from all the little Jewish kids, myself included. I grew up with all Christians, very
Yeah.
few Jews in my hometown, but all of our friends celebrated our holidays with us. I went to all my friends' house for Easter, Christmas,
Sure.
all that. But I always asked every year, why don't we have Santa? And my mom like wasn't mad or mean about, she just said, because we're Jewish. Like that was her
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid, even at 5 years old, I remember thinking, and I still think this to this day, I'm like, I wish that we had had just like there was a winter holiday. Like Santa is not religious. Okay. He's not affiliated with Jesus or the birth of Jesus. So why
Mhm.
isn't Santa and trees and ornaments and fun just for everybody? So we will cut to this. I think anything can be what you want it to be. I don't care what
Mhm.
people think. I am married to a Catholic man. We
Mhm.
celebrate every holiday that comes
I
up. If
have
we have,
another friend couple that
mm-hmm,
he is Catholic, she is Jewish,
yeah,
and they have a mixed Christmas tree. So she
yes.
hangs menorahs. I mean, they also hang Marvel characters and
Of
anything fun they find around
course.
their house on the Jewish Christmas tree.
Yes. So,
Interesting.
yeah, I think do whatever.
Yeah.
Again, it's all and if you want me to be really honest, half of my friends that celebrate anything have never gone to temple or church. They do it
Right.
out of tradition. They're not doing it for religious reasons. They're doing it for fun, for nostalgia, all that stuff. Quickly back to dreidel.
Mhm.
Dreidel, how that came about is back in the day when Jews were not allowed to be studying Judaism in many areas, and
Mhm.
soldiers were coming in and looking for people who were Jewish,
Mhm.
the little boys were spinning a top. That was like something they had them do, like put away their prayer book because they weren't supposed to be learning about the Torah or anything. And it
Mhm.
would look like it was just kids and only boys could learn that back then.
Mhm.
They would be spinning a top. So that game became synonymous with Hanukkah because then the temple at the time, like the big temple in Jerusalem, was destroyed,
Mhm.
and there was only enough oil left for a lamp, like, the eternal light that synagogue has something called an eternal light that hangs down within the sanctuary. There was enough oil to last for one day, and that oil lasted for 8 nights. So,
Mm.
hence, that is the miracle of Hanukkah. The oil meant for one day lasted for 8 nights. That's why we light 8 candles. And that's why the traditional thing to eat are fried foods. So, latkes, the fried potato pancakes,
Mhm.
sufganiyot, which are donuts traditionally filled with jelly. They're
Mm.
delicious. That is a fried food. So, that is where those traditions and things come from as far as Hanukkah.
Interesting.
That's your Hanukkah in a minute.
Thank you, Jessica.
Oh, you're welcome.
That is interesting to me because I didn't grow up around those types of traditions.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Wait, what's your rant?
After we celebrated the first night of Hanukkah, we
Mhm.
made our way down
Mm-mm.
to the Hollywood Christmas parade.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So we went over. This is like a tradition I've done for years and years with my friend Scarlett. She had us over for like a lovely spread of treats and some Glühwein. That's a German spiced mulled wine that she makes with cloves and fresh orange peel. So delicious. We had our little celebration, and then we walked down to the parade, warning Michael that it was the most loser parade he would ever see, but his child would probably love it. And let me
Mhm.
tell you something, Dom loved it, as would
Good.
most kids, right? You guys, every year with this parade, I think it can't get worse. Well, guess what? It can, and it does. Okay.
Oh, boy.
This is my rant, and it's going to be real quick. Why in the city of angels in
Mhm.
Los Angeles, the entertainment capital of the world, do we have the most third rate shit excuse for a parade you've ever seen? My high school's homecoming parade had more clout, floats, and enthusiasm than the Hollywood Christmas parade.
Okay.
There was about 10 convertibles that drove
Uh-huh.
by with one or two stars from like The Bold and the Beautiful,
Correct.
Young and
Every
the
year it's
Restless,
like soap operas. Yeah.
a couple of city councilmen.
Mhm.
No disrespect, but in the year 2021, we're still having Eric Estrada and Montel Williams as the MCs. Really? That's the best we can do in this city. Okay, that we can't have other people, newer, more, I don't care how old they are, just someone a little more currently relevant on television. I don't mean that Montel and Eric are not relevant as
Mm.
people, but
Right.
give me a young whippersnapper or just someone new. It could be a grandma, but I want her to be on a current show.
Okay.
Okay. We saw a bad version of Frosty the Snowman as the balloon. There's a couple of balloons that are trying to be like
Okay.
Macy's. The bad Frosty, a dinosaur who they didn't even have the bloody courtesy to put a Santa cap on to pretend
Rude.
like he's part of Christmas.
Rude.
And my favorite, the one that we all were screaming at, a giant potato called The Real, and it was an advertisement for Idaho potatoes.
The
I
real.
need you to explain that to me, why
I
a
don't want to.
potato 50 feet high and 50 feet long on a flatbed truck semi was rolling down the street. And my last thing I'll say about this sham of a parade,
Uh-huh.
there's about 15 minutes in between each
Each.
act.
Yes.
And I will tell you this, as usual, I get very misty eyed with the marching bands. I get super, super emotional when I hear a marching band. I
Mhm.
love it. I find it so powerful. I feel it in my soul.
Mhm.
So, high schools from different parts of the world, even in different parts of the US, march in the parade. And I thought
Sure.
that was awesome. And I saw some girls in yellow and black plaid, and I started screaming, Highlanders! I don't know if they were or not, but they reminded me of your Highlander uniform.
Hilarious.
Oh, I'll tell you something else. Here is a nice way to end my rant. It's the holiday season. Why not?
Uh-huh.
As opposed to when you and I were in high school. Do
Yeah.
you know what I did notice with every single marching band? And it made my heart explode.
What?
That in every one of the flag corps or dance troops that came through, there was at least one, if not several, boys in the troop. And when we were
Yay!
growing up, that was
That
unheard
didn't
of.
happen. Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, hell
Good
yes.
for them.
Yep.
Yep.
Get a better parade, LA. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I haven't done the Hollywood Christmas parade because I'm pretty sure I've told you this before, but I was sexually assaulted at the Hollywood Christmas parade. It's not funny.
What?
Yeah, the only reason it's not traumatic for me, it was at the time, but I can just sort of like "Bleh" about it now because I'm
Oh
very
my
lucky
God.
that I'm not a victim of rape or sexual assault in my life. Like I haven't suffered, thank God, that kind of trauma.
Right?
But I did at the Hollywood Christmas parade when we were over at the old IO. I was trying to get to a class and
Uh,
um right at the corner of Hollywood and Vine.
yep. That's where I was
Um
standing.
Yeah, so it used to be that big
Serious.
metal garage door that came down on the building on the
Yep.
corner there.
Hmm.
Things go in and out of there all the time. Well, there were so many people there that we were bottlenecked there, and the man
Ooh.
behind me had his penis out and was
What?
rubbing on me. Mhm.
No.
He was
Nope.
humping, and I couldn't move, and because we were bottlenecked, right? And so
Yes.
no one
Yes.
could move, and so I said to the man in front of me, "This man has his penis on me. He's jacking off on me."
Oh my God.
And he grabbed me by the front of my shirt and just, like, shoved me out of the way, which ended up, pushing me against the metal door.
Oh God.
Um, and he just started wailing on the dude, and every time he punched the dude, my head would slam against the metal door. And he just said to me, "Run, just run." And so I did.
Oh
And
my
so,
God.
I got up the street a little bit. I finally, like, wiggled my way. I, like, crouched
Mhm.
down and
Mhm.
wiggled through people, and I needed to get across the street, and they wouldn't let you cross because it was the parade, and so I went up
Right.
to some police officers, and I was crying, and I said, "Please, can I cross the street? I'm
Oh
just
my
trying to get to a
God.
class," and a man just tried to jack off on me, and
Uh-huh.
they were so annoyed with me, and they were like, "Just go." They couldn't have been more rude.
Right.
And I was like, "I have semen on my coat right now."
Oh my
Like, "Screw you."
God.
You know? So,
Wow.
anyway, I just wanted to bring, your happy holiday story down a little bit.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
God, I'm so sorry that
I'm
happened.
No, I am okay. It was, the kind of trauma that unfortunately us women are just kind of prepared for.
Yes.
I was not, he didn't touch my privates. It was, like I wasn't, I'm okay, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But
It's
I won't
still
forget it. It is not something that anyone should have to experience.
no.
Um, and I was disappointed in the law enforcement, but that's a
Mhm.
whole other thing. And also, maybe just don't go to improv classes when there's a huge event happening. Dana, not that like it's
Uh,
my fault. Like no victim is ever to
no, but they
blame,
should
but
have canceled classes because all the businesses closed down on the
thank
street
you.
because
Yeah.
there's so many people. It's just
It's just
everyone
too
closes up for the
crazy.
night.
Yeah. So I will say though, this is a good opportunity to say when you are at a big event like that, like be aware of your people.
Mhm.
Look out for each other because
100%.
stuff happens. Jessica, I am just going to go ahead and say I've probably ranted about 7 things and I'm not going to take a rant break because we're almost an hour in. Clearly, it's like, oh, we need a break. And then we come back and we're like, we have to do a 5-hour show. We haven't
It's
talked for a
so
week.
true. It's so
God.
true. And this still happens even when we have a green room dump. All right, Dana, why don't you bring us into our much needed cleansing breath?
Yes, I will. We like to take a cleansing breath where we just get all of our frazzles. Can I label us
Mhm.
as frazzles out?
That's perfect.
We get it all out. We take a deep breath, blow out all our troubles, and then we're going to fill up with some happiness and some funnies and some goodness, which the world
Yes.
needs.
Oh, yeah,
So
it does.
let's take a deep breath in and
Very
yeah,
nice.
very nice, very nice. Jessica,
Mhm.
you, I believe, are up for corners first.
I am, and this is very short. It doesn't require a lot because I think you're going to concur with how disgusting I think this is.
Yeah.
Now, my husband loves this. This is I've already forgotten what kind of corner it is.
Ew.
It's
I
a
think it's
ew
ew.
no corner. This is from Atlas Obscura and their subsection Gastro Obscura, which I've talked about, and I invite you all to follow for amazing,
I do follow
weird
them now.
oddities in food.
I follow them mainly so I can send you things and be like, "What?"
Exactly. Ah. This is Tiger Tail ice cream. Now, Dana, have you ever heard of Tiger Tail ice
No,
cream?
ma'am, I have not.
Mm-hmm.
No, ma'am. And it sounds illegal.
Uh-huh. Orange and black flavor, orange and black licorice flavor is kind of a big deal in Canada.
Nope. My
Thank you.
dad, Gary Powell, loves him some licorice.
Then he
Blackjack,
would love Tiger Tail.
blackjack gum. You know what?
Yeah,
Black
nope.
licorice.
I
Nope.
of course I know it.
He thinks gum should be illegal. Still thinks that's good. Okay.
You need to get,
No.
that old timey amazing candy company. They make that beautiful taffy. It's called
Yes.
Hammond's.
Yes.
They make the cutest black Scotty dog licorice. You could send Gary some for the
He would
holidays.
love it. He would
He would love it.
love it. Blech.
Canadians love their tiger tail ice cream. Oddly enough, this retro flavor is almost impossible to find outside of the Great White North.
As it
Thank
should be.
God.
As it should be.
Tiger tail doesn't call for rare ingredients foraged from the Canadian Rockies, nor is it intellectual property of the government. It just doesn't seem to appeal to anyone except Canadians. We know. A ribbon of black licorice swirled into an orange flavored ice cream base gives this tiger its stripes. The old school flavor sold well in soda parlors from the 1950s to the 1970s, and many Canadians now consider it a childhood classic. As curious as it may seem, kids and nostalgic adults are among the biggest fans of the citrus and black flavor combination.
Ugh.
Local and international creameries in Canada sell Tiger Tail ice cream, including Baskin Robbins and Kawartha Dairy. Ashley Chapman, vice president of Chapman's Ice Cream in Ontario, notes that Tiger Tail isn't one of their top sellers. They simply keep the endemically beloved flavor around, quote, because loyal Tiger Tail fans raise an enormous fuss whenever its future appears to be in jeopardy. Creameries across Canada offer Tiger Tail ice cream. Outside of the country, you might have better luck making it yourself. Not a
Ew.
chance. And let me
No.
tell you something. This summer, when we were at Wasaga Beach with Alan's entire side of the family having a grand old week together, there was an old time ice cream parlor and shop. And we took our nephew one day. I'm like, hey, let's go get ice cream. And what do you think Alan ordered?
Tiger tail?
He was thrilled. He loves it.
Oh God, there's something wrong.
Yes.
No, that's disgusting.
I got cookies and cream with hot fudge. He got
Oh,
tiger tail.
like a normal person who eats yummy ice cream you got?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, do you want to try it? I almost threw up that he even asked. I love citrus, but I want fresh oranges. I don't want orange flavored anything. And you better not be thinking about putting black licorice in it,
No.
which I don't
I
like on
don't
its own.
No. I don't like it. It's an awful flavor. It's a
Yep.
punishment.
Yep.
It's like when I would be sick and my mom was like, "Oh, you should gargle lemon juice and honey water." And then I would just puke.
Right?
And then she'd be like, "Why didn't you know that puke was coming? Because I'm a child. I don't know." Clearly, it traumatized me.
Oh my
Oh,
god. That's it for
that's
ew,
unacceptable. That's
no.
not acceptable. It's not
Mhm.
acceptable. Well, I have a what the what corner, which I obviously has been in the news.
I did
Um,
not know of this, by the
you
way.
didn't? Because I've
No.
been privately kind of giggling and then feeling guilty about it for a minute. A broken toilet on SpaceX capsule means that astronauts will return to Earth in diapers.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Wait, this is by Kat Lonsdorf. Okay. The
Mhm.
crew that's their name, Dragon. Okay. The journey back to Earth from space is never easy. No? Strange. But the astronauts aboard the SpaceX capsule coming home Monday have an extra challenge to deal with: no working toilet. It seems like that would be a priority. Like, if there's
Thank
one
you.
thing that humans do, no matter what, happy,
Uh-huh.
sad, tired, like sometimes you're asleep and it just happens, dead,
Okay.
y- we're going to poo poo and pee pee. We have waste. Okay. So it seems like that should have been a priority before they took
Thank
off. The crew
you.
for this mission, known as Crew 2. How exciting. Hey, people going into space where humans can't exist, you're Crew 2. They've been at the International Space Station. So this article was written in November. It happened a couple weeks ago, I think. Anyway, they've been there since April and have spent nearly 200 days in space. It's been very, very intense mission. A lot of things have happened, said the commander, French astronaut Thomas Pesquet. Is that right? In a press conference over the weekend. Over the mission, they conducted a series of spacewalks, installing solar panels to upgrade the station's power grid. They grew the first
Oh,
green chili peppers in space and they made tacos. Did you know that?
that's pretty cool. I did not know that either.
Yeah. They even hosted a private Russian film crew for dinner.
What?
Yep, the SpaceX couple's currently scheduled to undock from the station Monday afternoon. So this is not timely, but although all of that is dependent on the weather, blah blah blah. They had a press conference where Megan MacArthur, she's a NASA astronaut, confirmed that the toilets on board Dragon Endeavour are broken. Of course, that's suboptimal, she said. So professional, but we're prepared to manage. You know how they managed, right?
No,
Diapers.
I can't.
Yeah, this is not the first toy. How can you imagine being like kind of one of the smartest people alive, and you're like, except I forgot to plan for anything but diapers if my toilet broke. Like,
I
okay,
mean,
are you that smart then? Not sure. I'm so rude. Okay, an alarm went off on SpaceX's all-tourist flight earlier this year, signaling a problem with the onboard waste management. Uh, he's just so Bill Gerstenmaier, vice president at SpaceX, said in a press conference that the spacecraft's urine storage system had become disconnected in flight,
nope.
allowing pooled urine to enter a fan system. Then he followed that up by saying it didn't cause any major
What?
problems on flight. I'm sorry, but if I'm breathing pee pee, there's a major problem on flight.
I'm picturing the pee floating in the
In the
air because of
air.
the lack of gravity.
Uh huh.
I
And
can't.
me trying to put a Kleenex in front of my face to breathe and soak up that pee pee before it goes in my body. Ugh. Oh God. Okay, getting ready to come home. Look at how cool that is. Here we go. I'm skipping a little bit.
Unreal.
Um, they did fix a new SpaceX mission, Crew 3. They just refuse to be at
Oh
all
my
creative.
god.
They're like, you can't please everyone. Crew number 3. There you go. It's set to launch no earlier than Wednesday, whenever this was. Um, but he said that the toilet's been fixed, Jessica, in case you need to know.
Unreal.
Yeah, they wore diapers home. This article
No.
doesn't really harp on that much, but
I
that's what I remember about the story. I'm like,
Yes.
regular rich humans don't need to be going up into space because we have a lot of problems here that they could help solve
Thank you.
with that money. If you do go into space, you're not smart enough to not know how to breathe pee pee. You don't need to be going up there then. You don't need to go up there.
I cannot handle
Send
it.
somebody to college and feed 1 million kids, okay?
Thank you.
Be need go up to space when you're like, Mom, no, I'm gonna have to wear a diaper home. You should. Shame on you. Judgy. It's not my money or my business. I'm just saying, if I had a lot of money, I would try to be kinder. That's all.
Thank you.
And I'd pay my taxes. I would pay
Okay.
more than Dana Powell does in taxes if I'm a multi-billionaire.
Well,
Such a big
Dana,
chip on my shoulder.
I totally agree. And you know what? You
Mm,
just created the perfect segue to my rave because it
Great.
is helping children.
Good. Do it. Get her done.
So this made me happy because it reminded me, I think last year we talked about this. Barnes and Noble always for the month of December, at least in LA, but I'm going to imagine they do it in other cities. For LA, we have the LA Children's Hospital, which is an amazing place. It's huge,
Absolutely.
it's very famous. They bring children from all over
All over. Mhm.
to it. And every year Barnes and Noble by the register has a thing and it says, would you like to like add on to your purchase? Would you like to donate a book for I think it's
Yes.
$5? And
Mhm.
they have like 10 books. Each day they put up
You
another
could
and you get to
choose.
pick, I'll give the
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers book or I'll give this.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
cool.
always do that. And then I had to buy ink for the first time in God knows how long. I hadn't been in a Staples in probably 2 years. So I went to
I
buy
know.
ink
Isn't it
for my
crazy they
printer.
still exist?
It really is, but it is also like a wonderland. I could get lost in there. I
Same.
always
I went
think
in
like,
there last week for 30 minutes when I went just for carbon paper.
thank you,
I
because
know.
were you stuck in the Post-its aisle or the marker aisle? Because it's a hard
Both.
toss up. Yes.
Because who doesn't want ultra fine tip mystic jewel colors of Sharpies for Christmas?
Thank you. So I feel like you maybe got a set of this. Am I crazy? I asked for Alan. He's like, I'm not getting you Sharpies for the holidays. I'm like, it's what I want.
Exactly.
He got me like the crazy special. It was like their 30th anniversary or something. It was like 50 Sharpies. And then he also got me one from Papermate, the best
Oh my
pens ever. And I'm
God.
still using it. I took
Hey.
like old orchid plant holders from Trader Joe's and I have those markers out. So they're like on my desk and I can use them whenever I want to adorn something.
Yay.
So at Staples, they have a box by the register called Show Students You Care.
Mhm.
And they said, would you like to buy a box for a school? I'm like, oh, what is this? So it says, make a difference in your local community by donating this kit of supplies from the best back to school brands. So for $5, it has 19 items. It's Elmer's glue plus
Mhm.
a glue stick, 2 dry erase markers, 2 erasers, 8 number 2 pencils, a black Sharpie, 2 highlighters, and 2 black pens. And that will be donated to a school in need.
That's
I love
awesome.
that. And again, I don't have a lot of money, but it is one of those things where I'm like, you know what? This can be my contra. I can give $5 and give a kid a
Yeah,
box of school supplies.
for sure.
Right? That's one less peppermint mocha I buy
Mm,
at Starbucks this month.
Totally. Yes.
So I thought that was really cool. And kudos to the companies who are doing things like this. It's just a
I
really
love it.
nice way to give back.
Absolutely. And we love
Yes.
hearing about that stuff. One of our listeners tagged me in something this week that was similar to corn-fed threads,
Hmm.
and it's I'm gonna get one. It says Midwest Made, the t-shirts,
Love
and they
it.
have some arch merchandise because it's a St. Louis-based company.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Stuff I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm a crazy person. But anyway, they're same thing, gives back. I love
Love
anything
it.
that gives back. It's
Me
good.
too.
Thank you, Jessica.
Dude.
My rave for this week is called onesimplewish.org. So, this is a little bit about One Simple Wish. Kids in the foster care system can ask for specific gifts through One Simple Wish, which ballparks the price of the item, shipping, and other operational costs included, and publishes it online. While you don't choose the exact item, you do get to learn about the child the gift is going to. And Monty, for example, is an 8-year-old from Cleveland, Ohio, who's hoping for a karaoke machine so she can rock out with her sister. You can browse the whole
Mm,
list or even filter by age, gift category, occasion, and more. I love this because a
yep.
lot of like if you don't want to do one online or whatever, a lot of malls, which I know is kind of an antiquated idea.
Right.
Some people still go to malls, I think. They have that we did it last year, I think. The angel, you can adopt an angel off the tree and
Mhm.
you pick it and you get to give a kid something they asked for Christmas. And
Mhm.
that's what I love about these kind of things is when the kids get to pick because
Exactly.
there's something so amazing about like yes, receiving anything, especially for these children who have less than,
Mhm.
is amazing. But when you get to choose, like you remember that forever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It has such an impact. I don't know why, but anyway, they if you go to their website, it's really cute, by the way, and they have urgent wishes and wishes near you. Some of them are like $50, some of them are 49, some of them are 98. I mean, every price point you can possibly
Mhm.
imagine. Video games for Ronald, who thrives in culinary class at school. Like, you get to learn about each
Oh.
of the children. A
Mhm.
new tablet for Emma, who loves to listen to music all the time. Bright lights for David, who loves Super Mario. And you just click on it and you learn more about the child, how much it's gonna cost. You know everything. It figures it all out for you.
It's really
You can order
special.
it straight from the website. I mean, I just love it. I really, really do. They have this little article here I wanna read real quick. Every voice
Mhm.
heard, every child loved. At One Simple Wish, we believe that every child deserves love, hope, and joy.
Mm.
100%.
Mhm.
Every year, nearly 500,000 children are impacted by abuse, neglect, and trauma and spend time in our nation's foster care system. It can be lonely, confusing, and a bit scary. Through our innovative wish granting platform, you can send some love to a child who needs it. When your wishes come true, kids not only have a chance to just be kids, but they can also make important connections, experience new things, and find their passion. 500,000 plus kids spend time in foster care each year. 100,000 plus kids are waiting to be adopted. 22,000 young people age out without stable permanent connections. Now,
Mhm.
this is very close to my heart because I have a girlfriend who
Mhm.
was in foster care. It was very abusive, several siblings.
Mhm.
It was basically, a version of the Turpin case, which I don't you
Mhm.
guys know I'm obsessed with 2020. They interviewed the two of the
I
daughters from the
watched
Tur
it.
absolutely deplorable. I don't know how no one noticed and said anything. I'm sorry, but be a busybody if you need to when a
Yep.
child's life is in the situation. Also, even after they were rescued, and I put that in quotes because
Yep.
they didn't have access to the funds that people privately donated to them. They have been living in squalor. The older children have been attacked because they're
Mhm.
in a high criminal environment. The younger children were placed in a home that abused them again. Horrific. And I know the long lasting trauma that being in foster care can create for
Yep.
anyone. This small gesture could be one of the brightest spots of the year for these children,
100%.
and they more than deserve it. And I can't
Yep.
give them a home. I don't even have enough room for my all my pets. But I want them to have a good Christmas. I want them to
Yep.
know that they are loved, and I wish I could rescue every single one of them. You stupid SpaceX people going to space for shits and giggles.
Okay.
Sorry, but I'm on a soapbox, I guess. Anyway,
Yep.
children are often forgotten about, and even when it is brought to light by Caring Wednesday to adopt an older child,
Mhm.
they're frequently forgotten after that. So
Yes.
please, this holiday season, don't forget these children. They're
Mhm.
precious. They're valuable people.
And it's not
Valuable.
their fault
It's
that
not
they're
their
in this
fault.
horrible, unfortunate situation.
It is not their fault. So anyway, again, onesimplewish.org. They're also sometimes you get nervous about charity, like where is this going kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. They've been featured on CNN, Forbes, Good Housekeeping, ABC Nightline, Washington Post. Like they're very in the
Mm-hmm.
public eye, which always makes me feel a little more comfortable because people are watching. So
Yep.
it seems like onesimplewish.org is a good one, y'all.
Love it.
Help
Thank you
make
for that, Dana.
yeah, help make some baby's Christmas a little brighter.
Yeah,
I love it.
me too.
Jessica,
Dana,
I think that's our show.
I can't believe it, but I think it is.
6 hours later. It won't seem like 6 hours to you guys, but Jessica and I started talking about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it is now 4:30 p.m. I'm just kidding. But that honestly, that's not unusual for us. But I
I
am
know.
disrespectful of your time unintentionally a
Oh,
lot, and I apologize for that. But in my defense, I didn't schedule my neighbor's gardener to come and Texas Chainsaw Massacre their tree.
well, y'all, we had 80-mile-an-hour winds. Dana and I were talking about
Yes,
that. So I can't fault her neighbor for having their tree cut
that's
down
true. They
because
did need probably.
we lost some trees and branches all
I lost
over
a
the valley.
couple of planties tipped over
Yep.
and got
Some
hurt.
one of my
Yeah.
neighbors, some of their I heard this, psh, and of course I ran outside like a genius. But
Mhm.
some of their pots on their balcony, which hangs over the driveway down to our parking
Fell?
garage,
I
yeah, they
believe
just
it.
blew right off and smashed to smithereens. I felt so bad.
Those Santa Ana winds are nothing to joke about, man.
No.
I know you're like, "Okay, winds, you came from the land of tornadoes, you're fine." But those winds, they're constant for
Yep.
a good 2 or 3 days,
Uh-huh.
and they're strong, they're
They're really and
destructive.
they come from out of nowhere. It's like
Yeah,
dead quiet, and then
dead, and then all of a
someone's fence
sudden
gets ripped off.
that's right, you're absolutely right. You're just sitting there and you're like, "What's happening?" And you just
It's
run.
nuts.
I know. Well, Jessica, I enjoy
Yes,
you
I enjoy
tremendously.
you
Uh,
immensely.
I we always try to say like what we're into, what we're and I'm never like on top of the trends. I've noticed more and more. I keep trying to look at the stories for TMZ and I
Uh-huh.
only know about 3 out of 20 people.
Hilarious.
So, trying to stay young. But anyway, wait, I just totally lost my train of thought.
About, like, what
TMZ.
we're watching or what's happening.
Yeah, you can tell I'm not firing on all cylinders. Cylinders. What I did do over the break
Uh-huh.
is I just decided for some reason, I have issues with people are like, "Oh, you don't wanna watch Squid Game because it's an emotional roller coaster and it feels heavy,
Mm.
but you watch crime all the time?" Well, I already know that ending. We've discussed this. Like, there's no other way I'm going into that story. I know somebody died, okay? No surprises. It's not an emotional roller coaster. The ending is already there. There's nothing I can do
Mhm.
about it. But I decided I wanted to watch some clean stand-up,
Mm.
which I know sounds silly, but I was like, "No, I just want some wholesome
Yeah.
laughter, right?
Yes.
I don't need a bunch of F-bombs. I got a
Sure.
potty mouth enough for both of us." My kid said a potty word this week where I was like, "What is happening?" He
Uh-huh.
literally I was just sitting there quietly on my phone. He was watching TV. I will say in his defense, he was talking to Cutter, our horrible cat, and he said, "Get the fuck out of here."
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. And
That
I
sweet boy did not say that.
I said, "What did you just say?"
It
He's
was
like,
like Ralphie in A
"Nothing."
Christmas Story. He's
And I
like,
go,
"Oh,
yeah.
fudge."
I go, "Honey, I know you hear that word. I'm sure you've probably heard mommy and daddy say that word. It's just not polite. We don't use that." I had to like explain. And I told Dan Tipton, and do you know what Dan Tipton said? He's like, really proud of him. That was a good use of it. Like he used it correctly.
I
I was so mad.
cannot handle it.
Anyway, I just decided
Oh, that's
I
so
just want
good.
some wholesome clean. I listen with earphones anyway, so he's not hearing
Good.
it mostly from me, I don't think. But anyway, so I did Nick Bargates,
I don't know who that is.
and Jim Gaffigan.
I love Jim Gaffigan.
I
I
tell you
love
what,
him.
I laughed so much and it
Yep.
made my heart feel happy and
Yep.
light. So if you're looking like stand-up's
He's a
easy.
delight.
there's just so much
On
stand-up
Netflix.
on
Most people have
Netflix.
Netflix. Go
Now,
to
I will
town.
say, sometimes you have to dig. I will say it's mostly
Uh-huh.
men that come up. There are wonderful female
Yep.
stand-up comedians. My friend Fortune Feimster has an
Uh-huh.
adorable
Yep.
comedy
I've seen
special,
that.
Sweet and Salty, and so many of our friends do. But
Yep.
anyway, you may have to dig for women, unfortunately, but there's tons of funny women. There's tons
Yep.
of clean comics if you're looking for that. I just was in the mood for something wholesome.
I love it.
Yeah, what about
Well,
you?
I'm gonna bring it down before we get on out of here.
Okay.
I've been watching Dope Sick on Hulu.
I heard it's so good.
You guys, it's really good, and I really encourage everyone to watch it. Yes, you know what Oxycontin is.
Mhm.
Yes, I don't think it's a secret what quote big pharma does, any of that. But when this gives you a look inside of just how despicable and evil
Mm.
the whole operation of this was, and the person who became the head of Purdue Pharma, he's one of Richard Sackler. Literally, all he cared about was the bottom line and the profit.
Oh, yeah, they're
And
just monster people,
it's
garbage humans.
insane.
Mhm.
Michael Keaton
Oh, he's
plays a
talented.
physician in it.
Is he
He's
amazing?
beyond.
I
I've
mean, I
always
would
loved him.
expect no less. Yeah, he's
He is
wonderful.
beyond, but I beg you to watch it because it just gives you a little more insight, and then you can see, if you feel weird about something or a medication is not sitting well with you, or you start whether it says it's a side effect or not, I
Mhm,
beg you to reach out to your doctor. Or even now, there's on the back of insurance cards, they have 24-hour nurse line where you could at least call and say,
mhm.
hey, I'm a little worried about this, or I feel that whatever it is. It is such a killer. I have lost too many people from addiction
Absolutely.
to
Yes.
opioids and alcohol, heroin, all the likes. Some people very, very, very dear to me. I beg you, watch this show. You will not believe how bad this drug affected so many and continues to, and the indoctrination of, is that even the right word? What they did
Yeah.
to their sales reps, brainwashing them and convincing them of how to push it with doctors, nurses, and hospitals, and then what they did and how they started threatening pharmacies and hospitals and whatnot, saying that they would sue them from here till wherever
Ugh.
because they were taking away people's right to not be in pain. It's
Mm.
Oh, and Peter Skarsgård, where's he been? He plays like
Oh,
the
he's
lead
such a sexy
prosecutor.
little
Oh
weirdo.
God, he's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Please, I beg you. That's my recommendation for the week.
Excellent. All right. Good to
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I recommended Fluffy Stand Up, and you recommended Dope Sick.
Well, guess what? You can
We
watch Dope Sick, and then to recover, you can watch some Jim
watching it.
Gaffigan.
Look at us, the yin and yang. All right,
Yep.
then. I actually had brought a couple of lighthearted points to ponder regarding
Mm-hmm.
seafood because I hate it so much. And I saw a couple of facts that will convince you that I am
Well, I had a
right.
seafood medley on Friday, so I'd like to hear the day
Well,
after
then I'm glad
Thanksgiving.
I brought it because I'm going to tell you real quick
Okay.
before I do, since this is already a 27-hour episode. I did see something this week that I think is very important post Thanksgiving and heading into the holidays
Okay.
that we talk about. I don't know if you've seen the meme of Adele. Adele's
Yes.
been highly
Yeah.
talked
You
about
sent me
lately.
that.
Yes, so I'm going to read that because I thought it was very good. So this is a meme of Adele, and on one side it shows fluffy plus size Adele, and on the other side, super new skinny
Mm-hmm.
Adele. Both Adeles are the same human being, and
Right.
both Adeles are beautiful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This meme says Adele went from singing, I will find someone like you, to find yourself someone like me, bitch. Now, I got this from Alex Light underscore LDN. She is sort of a creative partner and podcast host with Jamila Jamil from The Good
Yep.
Place, who I
Mm-hmm.
adore. They talk a lot about weight issues, body issues, things like that. They're both very empowering for women. I adore them. So she wrote, and I'm just going to read a couple of things because I think it's really important for
Mm-hmm.
men and women, not just women. Okay.
Right.
There's so much wrong with this meme that's gone viral. One, she looked good before, She looks good now. We are just conditioned to view thinner as better. Weight loss should
Mhm.
not make a human suddenly attractive. Thank you very much. From a
Mhm.
person on a weight loss journey right now. Okay.
Okay.
2, the narrative that fat equals unattractive and thin equals attractive is not only wrong, but seriously damaging to people who are fat. Okay. It furthers and fuels fat phobia, which is a major problem in, at least in our country. I suppose I
Mhm.
shouldn't speak for others, but something of which we do not need anymore. Correct. The size of her body should have no bearing on whether or not someone finds a partner or gets a partner to stay.
Right?
That is toxic. 4, do we really think that Adele, with her world renowned talent and seemingly very funny, warm, and kind personality, will suddenly be wanted because she has a perceived glow up? That overlooks genuine human connection. Okay. She was a full person before she
Mhm.
lost the weight. All right. Number 5, I've already said it, but I need to reiterate the whole meme paints fat as bad, unattractive, and a detriment, while thin is good, attractive, and desirable. It's not true. And it's perpetuating a damaging myth. Number 6, why are we still talking about Adele's weight? What does it really matter how much she weighs? She says, look, I'm late to the party on this meme, but it turns out I'm not really because it's still going viral. It is everywhere. And yes, I know it's only meant as a lighthearted meme, but unfortunately, it's furthering a narrative that very much damages a significant amount of people. Fat people, especially as it reinforces fat phobia, but also people of all sizes. It tells us that we have to be thin to look good and be desirable, to be worthy of a partner. And that's not
Mhm.
true. It's not good. It's not helpful. I don't find it funny in any way. And I encourage you to call out any use of it. She actually ends it by saying, do you agree? Thanks for letting me return with a rant. That's what she actually wrote.
I love it.
Anyway, that's all very true. Don't come. Stop talking about Adele's body. Okay.
Yep.
That's not, she's a singer and just let her live her
Exactly.
life. And her sad
Yep.
songs aren't because she was fat. It's
Right.
because that's life, part of life experience. And
Okay.
her powerful songs aren't because she's skinny. It's because she's learning to love herself. Okay. Let's get through.
Correct.
Ah, that's your point to ponder this week. Stop with the fat
Thank
phobia.
you.
It's none
For
of your
real.
business. It doesn't dictate worth, value, attractiveness, success,
Nope.
likability. None of that. It has nothing to do with any of that. And then, just real
Nope.
quick, why you should never eat seafood is one, did you know that the heart of a shrimp is located in its head? And also, this is gross, lobsters pee out of their faces. We'll be back again next Tuesday, you guys. Not taking a break. That's right, they pee out their faces.
You don't eat the heads of lobsters or
I
shrimp.
don't
So
care.
come
It's a
again.
monster. It's a monster, and you have to pull out that line of poop before you put it in your mouth.
Give me all the insects of the sea.
You're disgusting.
I
I love you.
love you.
We'll be back next week and probably talk too much. Bye.
Bye.